Hey everyone, Joey Murphy here again with another live episode. This episode 10. That's one of my goals this year was actually to just get 10 down at least. We're going to punch through that next week. We got somebody coming on too. I'm going to announce it right after this live podcast. But today we have Daniel Welsh from Holiday Accents. If you guys haven't seen him yet on social media, you definitely need to follow him. So look up his Facebook. I know he's on Facebook. We're going to go through his Facebook, his website. We're going to hear his story and everything. But he's definitely somebody who's being really infectious with holiday lighting in our industry. And I wanted to get him on here and welcome him on right now. Here's Daniel Welsh. Hey, Daniel.
How you doing, Joy?
I'm doing good, man. We talked a little bit before the podcast and everything, and I love talking to you because of your energy and just everything that you have going on. You're definitely somebody I like to follow. So when I see a post from you, I'm kind of like, what did he post? Because I know it's going to be somewhat good. You know what I mean? So with that, man, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself, your story, maybe people that don't know you and haven't seen you yet. Tell us your story.
How long do you have, Joy?
I got all the time in the world, man. I try to keep these like an hour and a half, but I know your story is interesting. So take up the time you need and let everybody know because it's a good story.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on. Yeah, I appreciate it. You're doing a lot of good work, and it's been cool to see the professionalism as well of your content and what you're doing. Obviously my name's Daniel Welsh. As you probably told by now, if you're listening to this, I'm not from here. I'm from Scotland, born and raised. I moved to the States when I was 18. I was a soccer player, football player. I came here on a scholarship. I played college soccer in Santa Barbara, California, a really beautiful part of the world. And that's all I ever knew, Joey. Sports, football was all I ever knew. I was raised in a family. My father was a professional footballer, Hall of Famer. My grandfather owned professional football clubs. And from the age of like 3, 4, all I did was kick a ball and terrorize my family, breaking things and just messing around with my brothers and stuff. And wasn't a really good student or anything, and didn't really like school, and all I ever wanted to be was like my dad, and that was to be a football player. And then that brought me to the States. When I was 16, I signed my first professional youth contract. I moved out my house. I graduated high school a year early. I moved up to a place called the Highlands in Scotland, Inverness, and was living away from home, and quickly had to learn how to fend for myself and live on my own. And it was kind of just a whole new world. And spent 2 years playing full-time football as my job. And then kind of had this moment where I realized I could have continued that path and I could have broke into men's football over there. But I was never really going to be like my father. I was never going to get to that highest level. And I was very fortunate that when I left school, I had enough grades to get into university, college. And I started to hear about, every summer we used to go to America, Florida. My family would always, every summer, did a great job of taking us over, and we loved it. It was like our second home. We still do that to this day. We're actually just back from Orlando. The whole family was down there. That was really cool. But yeah, we just fell in love with America, and I heard about soccer scholarships. And I decided that I could have the best of both worlds, right? I could still play football at a good level, and I could get a full scholarship. The whole degree was paid for, and I could come to a beautiful place like California, Santa Barbara, study on the beach, play football in front of big crowds, and play Division I and get a good degree. And that's what I ended up doing. And that's why I'm in the States to this day. Now married to an American girl. Her name's actually Chelsea. I know your wife's name's Chelsea. So.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Yeah. So we have that in common. And
she must be feisty. Every Chelsea I've ever met is pretty feisty, man.
Oh, she's fiery, man.
She can hear me in the room right now. She's in the room right now.
Right. So, yeah, two beautiful kids. Got 2 boys, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and started this business 2 years ago. It's crazy to think it's been 2 years. I started this business in 2023. Was it 23? Yeah, 23. And my story was I had nothing. I knew nothing about Christmas lights, and I stumbled across Jason Geiman's content, who's now a really close friend and my mentor. And he's, he without stumbling across his content, I wouldn't be where I am today, because he's kind of changed my life. From just, I had a lot going on, and we'll probably delve into it in this. I might open up on this podcast. I was having a lot of problems in my personal life with depression and stuff, and alcohol. I was struggling a little bit, and finding Christmas lights got me out of that rut.
Wow. Yeah, no, it is. Christmas is a magical thing, right? And it's like, it can transform. I think it does open up people's creativity side. So to open up a little bit about you, there's two things I probably haven't even been open about, but I did grow up with depression when I was a kid, and I remember the feeling. It is a real thing, and it's so dark and deep when you get in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can cope with things such as there's good stressors and bad stressors, right? Good stressors is like working out. So if you're not playing soccer anymore, you got to replace all that, right?
Yes.
To cope. So that's a de-stressor, and it's a good de-stressor. It's eustress, right? You learn this in sports, right? Eustress and then distress. And the thing is alcohol is quick. So it can make you feel good, but it's only temporary. The stuff that takes longer, like working out, that's a very chronic thing, right? And so I learned it through working out too. I did grow up playing golf, and I played all over the state of Colorado. That's kind of where I grew up. It's Colorado Springs. And so I played golf in the summer times. I paid for the school, and I was pretty good. But the same thing, I was kind of chasing like a sponsorship, scholarship, all this type of stuff. I was playing tournaments, and I mean, these guys are good. Like, even if you're top 10 within Colorado, that's just of junior golfers. And then that's not even the whole adult league. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to be really special. And I competed against a couple of guys that were like amateurs at the US Open and stuff like that. They were in my league, and they're like 17 years old, and just their ball flight, everything. I'm like, they have something special. I am just good at what I do. I'm not special. So playing sports, and then also with all that is, and then finding, I was a firefighter paramedic for 13 years. All that you have to cope with, and with all that type of stress. But at the same time is Christmas lighting helped me tap into that creativity side, which I think anybody who knows me now knows, like, hey, you did not fulfill a part of yourself. And that's why maybe you feel lost and all these things, right? And so I hear the story of Christmas kind of helping people like that, like getting into the business and everything, and what it can do and change your life. Like you said, Jason's content, he, we just did a class with him, and he said he had over 2,000 videos. He also did, he has over 200 blogs. I know that because I researched his sites and everything. Is like, how far deep did he go? And it's 2,000 videos with 200 blogs, and there's more. The reels and stuff he's pushing out now is even on YouTube and stuff. Is like, the dude is hyper focused, man.
It's insane.
He's changed your life by it, right?
Yeah, it's insane, because you know what the thing about him is, and like, people will come in, like, I know he's got his Facebook group and stuff, and people will be annoyed because, he's only really pushing his store and things. But at the end of the day, like, there's no one else out there bringing consistent value like Jason brings. And like, Jason's done all this for me, and he's never asked for anything. Like, he's never once said to me, oh, I want you to buy from me, or I want you to go and do this for me. Nothing. And I think he's just he genuinely in his heart wants to help people. And I think that sometimes gets misconstrued, because, of course, he has to make money too, and he has to put food on the table for his own family. And I think he's more than earned that, because I've been in other groups since the very start. So when I started in 23, I think I joined another group, and they're not the guy that or whoever it is running that group. I don't even know who's running that group, because they're not present like he is,
well, that's the thing is, in these groups and everything is like, some people will be like, oh, well, you have to just buy here. Well, the whole thing is, people are trying to push something that supports their life. And so if you want to support them, then just engage in these things, buy from these people, because when you do that, you help support them, right? So what I love about Jason is he's in one day at the training, he was downstairs at night till like 1 a.m. helping people create their LinkedIn profiles and stuff. And it's like, he doesn't, I was like, you guys, he does not have to do that. No one does that, but they can feel it. And then, they know that this is the right place for them and everything. So I love what he's doing there. And I love that he can impact the industry the way it is, because imagine an industry without somebody like that in it. it would be less of an industry, right? And so we need to encourage these people when they're doing good things. And if they aren't doing good things, then we hold them accountable, right? Yeah. And we be their friend and try to help them when they're in need, right? So I love that we got this mutual friends with each other. You know, a couple other people that are in the industry too. I want to pop open your website real quick. And we can go through your website if I can get this thing working.
You know, we've done my website 3 times already. We'll get onto this. I'm a perfectionist and I need to change this mindset, but 3 times I've changed this thing because I keep seeing one better. And I'm like,
I always do this. I keep adding things and taking things away and not taking them away properly. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we got it. So this is your website here. This is a beautiful website. What did you say while I was trying to figure that out? That you redid it? You're redoing it?
3 times in 2 years. I'm only going into year 3, right? So 3 times I've changed the thing. And I'll probably change it again.
This is beautiful. What are the big changes on here?
Dude, I don't know. I think I have a little bit of design thing in me. Like I want everything to be perfect and everything to be in the right place. I'm a perfectionist and it can be to my downfall, my detriment at times, you know?
Yeah, well, you're self-aware, and that's really good. That's one big thing that I want everybody to always know is be self-aware of themselves and own up to whatever they're doing. But with you is you say you're like a perfectionist. OCD, you can say whatever it is, but the biggest thing is with me is I'm very impatient. I'm very impatient. That's playing golf. Growing up, I was like wanted to crawl out of my skin. You have to be very patient, you know, and calm. And it's like it was a good sport for me to be in, but I still am a very impatient person. So a lot of times I'm like you. I'm like, no, this needs to change. I need to do this right now. And it's like, is this a priority right now? No, it's not. And then you got to pivot, you know. But look at this. Is this your vehicle here?
So that is a wrap I was going to get done. And again, back to being a perfectionist, I realized that the light green at the front is a mock-up. The light green at the front isn't in my like color palette and my logo, so I didn't do it. And everyone said it was really good and all that. But
I agree with that, but it just needs to be tweaked a little because you do need your branding colors and just stick to that branding colors, you know?
Yep.
Here's some
these
of your
are all from year 1. I've not updated these pictures yet, so these are all just some of my first year pictures.
Where's the best place to see some of your content? Is it Facebook?
You know what? I've not really. My Facebook, Holiday Accents Facebook, I've got a recent video I just shared with you. That's got some of my good stuff on it. I mean, you can go on my Google My Business and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I've got pictures all over the place.
Yeah, you just haven't put in like all the energy in one spot yet.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, same thing is we only show a fraction of what we do. And I feel like we never do enough, you know, of posting and stuff like that. This year I'm starting to view myself as like more of like a quality control marketing side that in my business. And so if I go out, it may be like a site inspection, just make sure everything got done right. Is there any changes? Do I need to document anything super duper like maybe where power is that I know crews are going to have a hard time finding or something like that. Right. But for the most part, we lay everything out before they even get on site. But look at this, dude. You look happy as can be.
Yeah.
It's like, look at what I did, people.
I was super proud of that. That was a proud moment.
You got the lights in the snow there. We don't get a lot of snow in Texas, so that's pretty cool when you get to see the little halo effects and stuff like that. Trader Joe's. So what are you residential versus commercial? What does it look like? What is
so going into this year, I was actually we'll backtrack a little bit. I was very fortunate in year 1 to get some big commercial accounts. And I know that's very rare. And the crazy thing is, Joey, I didn't start in year 1 until the end of August, like literally start my business. And I didn't even start talking to people about my Christmas light business till September 2023. And we ended up landing some big commercial accounts, and it was through my network and just leveraging my network and relationships. And so right now, going into this year, it's going to change completely. But up until now, we're around about, I'd say, is it 80% split, 80-20? Residential, commercial, but it's going to be more commercial this year. So,
I mean, year 3 is a huge one. I think even if you just trickled in year 1, year 2, you're building. I say being an architect is like, hey, you got to really be an architect and build it, and then you'll start seeing some big cash flow stuff. But you can see it in year 1 and stuff. You can see that this is worth it. But then, you know, overhead you got to cover for the rest of the year. So I know you said, we're 3 years old. but really you're 2 years old, like technically, but it's the same thing with us. But you start in like late, like October or something the first year. You don't really start. And so that's like, I go off of seasons, right? So like we're going into our 9th season, but we really only been in business 8 years technically. You know, and in those 8 years, it's like, look at everything that we have done. Like, oh my gosh. So that's kind of like, you know, with it is, what are the changes that have you made in 2025 season to gear up for this?
Yeah. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see a cool video I put out recently, or I sent you an email, but it's a cool one. It's got some of our cool installs in it that I like doing, and you can show them that. It's got more pictures and stuff as well.
So is there anything in particular though, like in 2025, that you have made a change? Like we've done probably 4 or 5 different things this year to really like show that we want to go in this direction with our business and our business plan and everything. We've already implemented those things. Is there anything you want to share that you have done like just super profound for your business?
So you know what? Yeah, I've spoke about this a lot with Jason and things, and I've shared some of this, but in year 1, even though I got those commercial accounts, I quickly realized when I was making calls, like I cold call a lot, I was realizing that a lot of these commercials are already through their budget by like October, right? Like Q3, Q4, budget's already out the window, right? So getting into them early and networking with them early in the year is so important. And so that's something that in year 2 I did very well. I was able to establish relationships with the HOA communities, and that's something that's transferred over. And what I've noticed from that is we got a few accounts in year 2 as that has snowballed. And I think there was a lot of hoops to get through to get those accounts. Like, you know, the whole thing of HOA to me is very frustrating. You could put up this great presentation, build this great relationship with the project manager, the portfolio manager, but at the end of the day, they're slapping that thing down on a table with 2 other bidders, right? And that was frustrating at first, but now obviously I see why. And even in my own neighborhood, we have our own HOA community stuff. I see why, but now I've understood how I can put my company in the best light, right? To stand the best chance of converting that into a job. So that's what we've done really well this year. We put in a lot of the groundwork early on in the year, and I think we're going to see a lot of good results from that this year.
Yeah, no, that's definitely pushing you in that direction, the commercial. And there's, man, it's a weird, I see stuff all the time. And the thing is working with those property managers and getting credentialed and all that, becoming legit Christmas lighting business that people can pick and everything. But then do you have the processes to back it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Is last year we did a project and we just got confirmation that they wanted 9 times their budget, and it already was a decent project, right? 9 times. And I was like, wow, this is a big thing. But that just goes to show you our processes and how much time and energy and effort into our proposals and everything that we put. This is a long-term game with these people. And so, and it turns out to where the relationship is like really, really genuine too. Like they don't even want to get 3 bidders. I did go to a city hall meeting yesterday, and I guess they invited me there, but they're like, you don't have to come. And I was like, well, you know, we've done the project for 3 years and everything else. I know you guys have to get other bids and stuff, but I'll go and I'll tell them, you know, based on tariffs and everything else, kind of where pricing lays too, right? Is their tower tree. And I didn't even go up with it, right? But that tower tree is 30% more. And so if you're like, hey, we need to cut budgets or do this, like cities do to be fiscally responsible, is it comes up, they start negotiating things with each other. And they didn't even know I was in the room. I guess everybody forgot the memo, but I didn't speak or anything. I just sat there and I listened to them. And there was things like they were going to try to get sponsorships to cover some of the costs with the businesses within the city, right? Yeah. They try to do some advertisement stuff. Maybe you can put a little base around the tower tree, and then you can have little sponsorship things of the city hall tree and all that stuff, right? You can do some things. And so they wanted to cut about $12,000 off their city hall stuff for the year. And just with all the changes, they're a developing city too. Sometimes it's not the best to do something in some area, and then you got to move stuff around. So we're working with those. But what was amazing is that the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to get cut down 12,000, you know? And it's like, I don't want that. I want you guys to add. Right. And so they do that. And at the very end, but they said to the mayor, would you take somebody wants to speak and they're not on the agenda. Are you open? And she said, yeah. And so he walked up there, and he's a business owner. And he said, whatever the cost is of what that is at 12,000, I got it covered for the businesses. Don't worry about it. And so he actually paid the money for the city to act. He's like, we're not cutting Christmas, you guys.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking. We're not going to go down that path, and I will cover the cost. So it shows that Christmas joy and that Christmas spirit.
Awesome,
it's just, it took 5 seconds for him to say that and him step up like that. But that's what Christmas is really about.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
And so you get to see the, like, also Christmas magic happening, and your company's involved with that. I think it's pretty powerful. So when they were talking, I was like, oh no. And then he says that, and I'm like, wow, look at this magical moment. I don't even need to speak here. You know what I mean? Christmas is defending itself,
Yeah.
So
I think that's such an important point you've just made, because like, how, like, we're all business owners at the end of the day, and we do talk about our revenue and stuff. And especially for Jason, using my story as an example can only help the whole industry, right? People getting in that are new and things. But let's not get it twisted. The people who are succeeding in this industry, I believe, have a genuine passion, like, for what they're doing. Truly, like, creating joy for others. And it's something, like, it kind of goes untalked about in a way, but, like, I can see the passion you have for it. And I'm the exact same. Like, I couldn't imagine my life without this now. Like, it's such a big part of what I'm doing. And, like, and even my kids, like, they see my brand, like Santa. My kids are always asking me to wear the Santa t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, just little things. And it's like, this is what this is all about, man. Like, just creating.
I didn't grow up with parents that were like entrepreneurs and they had their. My kids, they like wear their shirts to school and stuff like that. It is our thing. It's our. We're special in this way, right? And we're able to do these things because we are hardworking too, right? It's not an easy job at all.
No.
It's not like we're hanging mistletoe above a doorway. We are really risking and doing things. But like you said, is that it is. We really do care, right? Like, I care when I lose a contract. I do. And it's not because it's just money. I know I'll replace the money. It's the relationship that kind of goes away. You know what I mean? And so whenever we're granted things, I feel very blessed. I'm very grateful for everything we get. And I genuinely am, because these people allow me to do this. The people allow me to do this, right? The market dictates this, not me. It's the market allows me to do this. So, but I had this up here. Paul Gardner said, Dan is killing it. He made a comment. Oh, Paul Gardner.
Paul's the man.
I got to get him on here or something one time.
Paul's doing a training this weekend, I think. Jason and Dan.
In North Carolina, I think. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So everybody's feeling the Christmas spirit. Let's move to the next topic. It's, what is a success story you recently experienced? And then I'll go to your Facebook page. But tell me a success story. You probably have a ton of little nuggets, you know what I mean? But you can just share one of them. It's fine.
Yeah. Success story. So Christmas related?
Anything. I love talking about other things that correlate into this type of business. Like, I talked to an HVAC company the other day because I just love talking business. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you know how I told you earlier that every year we would come over from Scotland and we would go to Florida, and my parents, so I told you my dad was a pro soccer player, football player and stuff. And back then in Scotland, even though he was at the pinnacle, the top of the game, they weren't making that much money, right? So he was highly skilled and stuff as an athlete, but they weren't making as much money as these guys are making now. So, like, just to make ends meet and to get us over to Orlando every year, or almost every year, was a big deal, right? And it's always been my dream. It was always my dream to one day be in a position financially to give back to my parents, to my family, and to take everyone on behalf of me down to Orlando. And so about 3 weeks ago, I was able to take the whole family down, my kids, my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers, my sister-in-law, my wife, everyone. We all went down and we had just an incredible time, and we stayed in this incredible home, like something like you see in a movie set. Like, and I just felt very thankful. And I would say that feeling I had when everyone sat down that first night for dinner and we were all there, and I felt good, I felt really good. And to know that everything I'd gone through in those years prior, the depression, the binge drinking and all that, to know I've been 2 years sober, to know I'm building savings and I've got things in place for the future for my kids. I can pass on this business one day. I'm in a good place, and I think it's all a result of why we're here today, which is the Christmas light industry. So
that's awesome, man. That's what you do it for, is that right there, right? There's a lot of reasons why and sweating in a warehouse and doing this business and everything else. And a lot of it is my kids and my family. And when you're able to do that stuff, like you go to Orlando, I think, did you post, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did you post, you guys were like in a theater room, but it was like a movie theater room, or it had something, it was crazy. I was like, I've never seen a movie theater room like that before. Where was that at? In Orlando?
That was Orlando. It was in Orlando, and it was this massive mansion, and there was a James Bond movie room, and I had the whole home had a theme, and there was like slides in the home for the kids, and just something that when I was just coaching soccer and I was just living paycheck to paycheck, I would never have been able to even dream about something like that, and it was motivating at the same time, because it motivates you. Oh yeah, there's there's a truck,
Like what? That looks like the beach. That's carpet though, huh?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they got the movie posters in the room and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And but that feeling that you got from there, have you had that feeling before? You know what I mean? Like, this had to be a big goal of yours, right?
That feeling, this goes sound crazy, but when I finished college in 2013, I graduated my senior year, and I signed another professional contract. This was with a men's team, full-on professional in Carolina. The team was called the Carolina Railhawks. And I signed a professional contract. It was a 2-year contract, and I was making $1,250 a month. And that feeling I got, I ended up 2 days later, left that contract and decided it wasn't for me, and I was going to go into coaching, because everything I'd ever dreamed of and everything I'd ever dreamed of becoming, and to be given a contract, it was a very sour taste. I left a very sour taste in my mouth. And the feeling I had when I was in Orlando, providing that stuff to my family, was better than that feeling that day I signed that contract.
Wow, yeah. So
and I'd worked my whole life for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. You took control and you made that other feeling, like in Orlando, and you actually can dictate a lot of how that can succeed, right? But with those contracts and the payments, and you're just hoping for that. Like, I remember hoping to get sponsored or scholarships, or get on a league or something like that, and it's just like, but the other people have to choose you, right? Yeah. And this is you took control of your life, you did it yourself, and then you got to share that with other people, because if you make that team, that's great. You kind of share memories with those people, but your family's like, oh, congratulations, you did this moment. It was way different because you made the moment, and then your family experienced the moment with you, which was even way crazier, Good for you, man. That is really cool. They say Aaron King comment, he was in our last training, he says, great to see you guys. I do have your website up here. I did see this video the other day, and if anybody's watching and they are like, I'm not sure where to start or anything like this, is like, this video is amazing. Where to start is like, this is exactly, it tells you a little bit about yourself. It shows you what you do in your processes with your business. You're really genuine with it. You could tell, like, this is a real person with a real company. He's really trying to make things happen. Let me get a quote from him. You know what I mean? But if you guys, I'll just play a little bit because it's 3 minutes long. You even say it's 3 minutes because Facebook is like, with Reels, it cuts it off at 3 minutes. That's why I did one a while back with Rylan, and I sped it up, but we sound like little chipmunks and stuff like that. And I had so much that I wanted to compact it in the reel, and I had to speed it up enough to get the 3 minute mark and everything. Yeah. But I just want to show everybody kind of the work. And this, how long did this take you to really put together this video, by the way?
Joey, way too long, brother. So the idea behind it is, I came up with this idea because I want something that's going to kind of, hopefully in my area, go viral. Like, I wanted people would be like, oh, that's the guy that does 3 minute Christmas light designs. I want to go and get one. And I want that to happen, like, for people to see the potential of what we're doing, So there was a lot of thought went into it. And I think that's, you'll know this because you're in the content realm now as well. It's like all this time goes into it, but then it's just one little video, It's like, but we'll get there.
Well, there's shorts, right? And then that you can use, and then there's long content. The long content is what's really hard, right? Like when you come out with a YouTube video and it's like, well, that really took me 3/4, almost the whole day to like go gather the materials, go to this site, go stage, somebody record for me come back and edit it, and then launch it. It's very time consuming. So like when we were talking about Jason earlier, I mean, if you look at it, you could tell he's working full time just on that. And then he's got a team of people now around him. He's like making his own little marketing team, you know? So for you to put this in here you said it took way too long. What's way too long?
Dude, couple hours. But Jason gave me good advice because we talk almost every day. And I'm like, Jason, I'm a perfectionist, like the perfectionist thing again. I'm like, I want this to be, he's like, forget about it. Just get the content out there and build more and just try and get out just more content, right? Repetition. So,
well, when I started creating content this year and everything, I realized like some of the stuff I've seen, right? You can do this in a pinch and stuff. And so I explain it and everything. Do I do that 99% of the time? No. It's just I've seen it. And if you need to hold this up, you can hold it up this way. I feel like we're very handy. So like a lot of times we'll come up with like different ways to do things to overcome, an obstacle in our way and everything. But yeah, man, let's roll through this video real quick because I got a couple little other things I want to talk to you about, but let's look at this video. I'm just going to skim through it.
Here, owner of the Holiday Accents, Northern Virginia's Christmas light and decor experts. I hope you all have had a great start to the year. So you're probably wondering why I'm talking about Christmas lights in the middle of August when it's almost 100 degrees outside. The reason is we fill up fast and our schedule, before you know it, will be fully booked and locked in for the season. So if you want to benefit from not only our early bird discount, but also priority scheduling, then it is a good idea to reach out now. And you can do so via our website at holidayaccentsva.com, where you can request a completely free custom quote and design.
Like you're saying everything. You're saying where you're located. You're saying how they can do a quote. Oh, I know it's 100 degrees. You're sympathizing with them, but at the same time, you're like, this is what's needed. I'm trying to keep you on track. Like you're hitting, like, did you write this out and you plan this, or did you just start talking?
Joey, this stuff is what I use. When people say, do you have a script? I don't. It's just in my noggin. Like, this is the stuff I use when I call businesses, right? I know I'm calling you and it's the middle of August and you've got a lot going on, but just want 2 minutes of your time. And like, and we want to talk about Christmas lights because now's the time to benefit from our early bird discount, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's just
all how to do a savings in there, everything. It's like there. But I do the same thing with our videos. I grab the stuff. Why? Because it's all up in the dome. We may take like another retake of a second, or I may pause and then I'll be like, let me re-say that. But we just have one roll, one recording, and then I just chop it up, chop it out, or whatever. But it's a lot of times every video, there's no script. And you can tell because if I had to read it, there would be a little delay in my voice, right? And I would talk a little slower, a little smoother, just like you. That you could tell this is natural. It's just, this is our processes. And when you say it like that without a script, it's because you've said it 1,000 times. People can feel that energy that you actually said this 1,000 times. You actually have done this 1,000 times. So maybe I should listen to this guy, So this is
so
amazing.
If you look above me right now, this is actually me completing a custom design for someone who requested one via our website. This is something we do for everyone. It's completely free of charge. And what it allows you to do is to see exactly what we can do and what we're capable of doing with your design here at Holiday Accents. We use an innovative software also doing the driveway. So you imagine your guests are rolling up. It's Christmas Eve and they're driving into your driveway and it is fully illuminated. And it's just going to get everyone in the Christmas spirit, get everyone ready to get to that front door.
You see that though is like Jason says all the time, like sell the magic, right? Because you're in one thing I'm trying to use different terminology to compare, like when we teach and everything. But to be honest with you, you're in hospitality. That's what you're in, right? And so you have to. Right here is you're selling an experience. If I want to go to a nice restaurant, I want the experience. And the experience has to be thought about and calculated and everything on every step of everywhere. I do not want to wait, right? You don't have your guests wait and everything. So the same thing is you're kind of selling the experience of what their home is going to look like. You got a lot of passion in your voice. Some people will want to talk in monotone, but you can tell I've experienced this before. And imagine you can have this experience too. And people are like, I want that experience. You know what I mean? One thing I did want to say that I kind of forgot as I was saying it, but was about creating content. is that 99% of the time when I'm not doing it and everything, or I mess something up or something like that, to be honest with you, then people start engage more, right? So like what Jason's saying, don't make it perfect. If you made everything perfect, you're not like, so what I look at with content is it instructional, or is it entertainment?
Yeah,
I think it needs to be a little bit of both, right? You can have fun because this is a holiday lighting industry, but you're also an expert at what you do, so you can be professional too, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, if I mess up, comment below and say why you shouldn't use this staple gun. Right? It's the engagement, and then we get to clarify on some things. It's like, well, what kind of stapler? What kind of staple in the staple gun do you use? Because these ones are better, and then you get a little more professional and a little bit more. Oh, I see what you were doing there, and then there's clarity in the industry, right? So, like everyone says, it's just make the content. If you mess up, it's actually sometimes it's a good thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But I love this video that I saw the other day, and a lot of guys that are starting out is like, they keep telling them, like, I got a call the other day saying, should I spend money on Facebook ads and Google ads and everything? And I'm like, well, where are you at in your business? Because if you don't have, you haven't established social media content or any kind of foundation, you're throwing money at something that's like very fragile, right? It's like, well, there's a ton of other things you can do to gain business, because that's only one way to gain business. Yeah. There's like 20. How many do you have? Oh, I can do yard signs. I can do Facebook ads, Google ads. I can do door knocking. And I'm like, keep going, right? And it's like, if you only know 3 or 4, comment down below so we can all comment and say, these are like all the different ways you can engage in getting business. And Facebook ad, throwing money at things, that's what people ask is, what do I spend on Facebook ads and stuff like that? Well, we're like 90% commercial now, right? And it's like, you think the commercial spaces are clicking on those Facebook ads and stuff? Do you think that they're calling off of yard signs? It's just not my business model. Not that now, if you're in the home service business, you got another thing like landscaping or window cleaning on the side. Now you're double dipping. I understand why you want to get into the homes, but that's just not us. That's not so much where the market has pushed us to. You know what I mean? So I love all your content, man. I love. There's little kids and everything in the back.
Oh, this is a good video. The one up there. If you go up. Other way, like closer to the top, there's a good one of my installs recently. Yeah, that one there. Go down again.
Is there a lag?
If you go down, I think there must be a lag. It's the one. It's that one.
That one.
Yeah. This one's it's good. This has got some of the good ones.
By the way, love this color scheme. It's very different, right? Is that cool white and warm white?
Cool white, warm white, champagne combo.
Yeah. We've done that before. We've done it with pure white and warm white, and it's not big. It's not enough contrast. The cool white, warm white, the champagne, the elegance side of it, the European, effect and everything for Christmas. But then you did the holly at the top of the piece and everything. I like this design, to be honest with you, just because it's different. There's no one on the block that has that, right?
No one. And the amount of work we've got from that right there is a lot.
And how long did that video take? Way too long?
This video, it wasn't too bad because I'd done a couple of these before. So I was able to just switch out videos and stuff. So it wasn't bad. Maybe 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And what do you use to edit these videos? Like CapCut or something? Like what are you using?
Yeah, CapCut. Jason told me to use CapCut, so I use CapCut. I'd never heard of CapCut until he told me. So it's easy though. It's not bad.
Very easy.
Yeah. Is that what you use?
Yeah, I started using it. I use a couple different things, man. And it's because it depends on what I'm doing. Like I'll use Photoshop, and then there's Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing, but that you don't really need that. Like 90% of what's on your dashboard, you don't even need. So what CapCut and all of them have done is made it really simple to drag and drop and pull and source things. And so, I like to use CapCut especially if I'm trying to make quick content and stuff like that. That's all you really need. And then they got effects like you just put an effect on your logo, boom, it's ready to go. You save that and you're just drag and dropping. That's what makes it so beautiful in season and stuff. Is it's so hard in a business to be working and posting content. And it's like you need a dedicated person for that. And most companies can't afford it or don't want to afford it. So that's why this year, the big movement that I'm doing is meta glasses. Every crew gets one set of meta glasses, and they're going to be creating content all day, every day. And that's their glasses for their truck, and they can hand it to each other or whatever. And it's like, oh, you're about to go do something here. Use these glasses, record it and everything. Then when they come in, I can just download it straight to my phone and the meta app and everything. And then I also have it on my computer, so I can source it from there. So it's like what that does is it's going to create a lot of content for next year. And the whole reason I look at it is the reason why we're not creating content and posting about this stuff is because my two hands are working. Right? I don't have any. If you're putting in a tower tree and you're climbing a tower tree, are you going to bust out your phone? I'm working here, right? So it's just boom, hit it, 3-minute record. It stays to 3 minutes, so you can still upload it as a reel or whatever, and then you just have to hit it again. And then the same thing is they can take photos, so they just hit it one time if they're up and they're working. Is if they got something that needs to be looked at, like, hey, this extension, I know it seems weird, but this is how we did it. Click, and they can move on, right?
I just got a pair.
You did?
And I think this is a thing, and I'm so glad you just hit on that. So many things you've just said there that I've learned just being in this business 2 years is like, you're absolutely right. Like I had these intentions in year 2. I was already off the truck in year 2, by the way. I got off the truck after year 1, and my intentions were, I'm off the truck. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get videos of the guys installing. I'm going to go out at night and get videos of the lights. And I managed to get some, but dude, and then it just changed to something else. It's like, I'm the amount of leads we're bringing in, and I'm handling all the leads. And it's like, it is the most stressful. And I say this to everyone that's trying to get into it, and they'll ask me questions, like, be prepared, because it's like, there's nothing like it. Like the stress and, keeping people happy and picking up the phone at all hours to deal with problems, and just, it never ends for like 4 months. So, and I always find it funny when people say like, oh, it's easy. You can make 100,000. It's easy. It's not, it's not easy.
No,
and that's what I respect about Jason. He makes that clear that it's not easy. I think some of the other ones do. They're like, oh, it's easy. No.
This it depends how far you want to go with it, right? But this, I learn things about myself every year I'm in this business, and you'll say things like, it's so stressful, and then I have to look at it, and it's like, okay, how do I de-stress this, right?
Yes.
And what system am I going to put in place that we did not see happening before? Because as you grow your business, you need to grow with your business too.
Yes.
When somebody says they have $1 million business, that person has transformed themselves, right?
Yes.
What is it? Metamorphosis and all that. It's like you transform into something else. And each year you need to adapt. Your employees need to adapt to that, right? I did. Here's some comments right here. It says, Scott McQuay is selling the dream. The dream, right? This is the dream. It's a good dream to try to achieve these things. Yeah. And then there's Jacob Westlake. He used to work for me. Best job I ever had with Joey Murphy. I learned a lot. Oh, he worked for me like 4 or 5 years ago. And he said he's on here kind of commenting and saying it was a good experience. Says, man, our company is way different now. And maybe I need to get him back or something. I could reach out to him.
There you go. You
need help, You need help. That's it's with this type of business it is very hard. I am dehydrated right now. I was just in the warehouse. We're refabbing a tower tree and everything. I'm getting people moving. I'm drinking energy drinks. I'm trying to stay hydrated. Chelsea's always shoving water in my face, like, you're not drinking enough water, and I'm not. She takes care of me, feeds me. And as it gets hot is I need ice with everything now, and I never am an ice drinker, but I need ice. And so it's also preparing yourself and conditioning yourself for the season, right? Like if you are not preparing yourself and pushing yourself right now, what makes you think that you're going to withstand those pressures in the season? So it's how to de-stress it so you don't get pressed too hard. And it's hard. It is very hard to, especially if you want to build a big machine. Now, if you just want to do it a little bit every year, man, there's nothing wrong with guys that want to stay there. I want to tell you that you do not have to push it. I remember the smell, even in October of, in Texas, and leaves are falling and you get this fall smell off of the leaves and everything. You're up on the roofs and you're rustling up the dead leaves on the roof and you can smell that smell from the hot glue gun smell to gluing the archway. Even when like all those types of senses and things in the beginning, I do miss all that because when you grow your business, you start getting removed from all those sensory things. And then you're doing like what you do, which is problem solving all day. That's all you do is I don't get phone calls saying, hey, we had an amazing install, boss. And this was amazing. You're doing amazing things. And hey, do you want me to bring you lunch in while I come in? I don't get that. I get, hey, there's a gate locked. What's the gate code? And it's like, well, it's in CRM. And it's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, no, it's not. Hold on, let me do a little research. And now you have the time is ticking and you got crews wasting money just standing there. And they're like, we can jump the fence if you need us to. And I'm like, how are you going to jump the car over there? We can just pass the ladders over. And they're like, hold on, you guys. Let me get you lined up for the project. Hold on. So is there anything that you had this season that stood out to you as a story of crews running and everything like that? Like being rejected away from a house, or like gate is like, or dogs, like crews being attacked by dogs or anything crazy? Uh-oh, the sound's off. Okay. I'll ad lib. So watching Daniel's stuff and everything, if you guys haven't, go follow him. He's definitely somebody that is going to explode and take off. Let's see how many I don't even have a lot of followers, but 263, we can double that for that guy, right? Start sharing his message, his story, add him on Facebook, go check out his website and everything. Say and comment in his feeds and everything. When you do see stuff on his website of the stuff with him doing renderings and stuff like that, is what program are you using? Try to incorporate that in your business, because one thing is Jason's helping Daniel, but Daniel is also willing to help other people. That's why we're here. We're on this. We're trying to share the message, these stories of what we're doing. And we are living this right now. We are working this. A lot of times, we are distributors. We do sell lights and everything else, but I always say we don't just move boxes. Right? That's not what we're here for. We don't just move boxes. You can come in, you can say, hey, I got this project. What do I need with this? Hey, I'm kind of running into this with my business and everything else and my employees. How would you handle this? And I'll be like AI, and I'm no financial advisor, but this is kind of what I would like to do. You know what I mean? Are you back, Daniel? You got your sound? You're muted still. It's muted. You're still muted. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you're there now.
Yeah. So it's amazing how quickly these laptops die these days, man. Just turn my mic off. But yeah, I have a crazy story actually. So nothing year one crazy happened during this. Well, yeah, things happened with installers and stuff. Like I was doing a shopping center on the Saturday, and this is when on year one I was on the install. So we did 79 installs year one, and it was a crazy busy year, crazy busy season. I didn't expect to do that many. It was insane. It was very stressful, and we were staying out till like, we were still slow because it was year one. I was still trying to learn this stuff, so we were out till like 9, 10 at night. And the amount of staff I was going through, just because people weren't as much invested as I was in the business, right? And I understand that. But I had one guy, and he claimed to have had 10 years experience doing Christmas lights. And, he'd approached me at the start of the season and said, he was honest with me. He says, look, I've got a few installs for friends and family. Do you mind? I'm like, nah, that's no problem, man. Like, just let me know. Give me notice, like, when you're going to be doing those, and we can fit it into the schedule. So we were on this massive install on a Saturday. We did a shopping center, and it took us all day. And at the end of the day, everyone's tired, just want to go home. I had another guy out helping us. There was 3 of us. And the guy comes up to me, and on the Sunday, we had another shopping center, another big one. He comes to me on the Saturday night, and he's like, Daniel, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean you're not going to be there tomorrow? He says, I've got my own stuff going on. I told you about this. I'm like, yeah, you told me you had installs. That's fine, but I told you to give me some notice. I mean, you've known about this install tomorrow for like over a month. And he's like, oh yeah, sorry, man. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to, because I'm desperate, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to figure this out. Let me see if I can change to Monday or Tuesday or something. He's like, no, I'm not going to be back till like Wednesday. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. So I just, I cut the line. I was like, and that's when I realized, like, this is tough. This isn't easy. The whole recruitment thing's very difficult. And that was a hard moment. And I was only in year one, and I found that really challenging. People just constantly letting me down. And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give to someone, and something I learned real quick, is like, it's very hard to find people in our niche, right? Like if you're targeting, like with your job openings and stuff, if you're targeting Christmas light installers, I was getting guys showing up that said they had experience doing Christmas lights, and I was quickly finding, Christmas lights hanging them for their gran on their house and stuff, not professionally, you know?
Yeah.
And so I took a whole different approach, and I started to go after, because I know that the skill can be picked up quite easily. So I was like, I'm going to start going after roofers, and that's when everything just changed for me. And now all my guys are roofers, and that was a very difficult moment, a very crazy time, but it also taught me a lot.
Well, it did push you in the direction where you needed to go, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing is when you first start out your business, you may have some business plan or anything. That thing is going to change. What's going to happen is like what you did is, okay, this is a seasonal. Like if you really break it down, you need consistent, reliable help. It's high demand, and I remember that feeling. I had over a dozen guys that have done this to me and be like, I got my own personal things going on. Yeah. And I was, I'm not going to be back till Wednesday. And you're dictating the schedule, when to be on our team is you need to be accountable. And when you're here Tuesday, you're here Tuesday.
Yeah.
If you tell me you need to be off Wednesday, and I said, and it's like, okay, yes, I moved everything around. You can be off Wednesday. That's your time to be off. Okay. And I'm not going to bother you. I will not call you, and you can go do your stuff. But that's what happened is a lot of guys wanted to do this. And then they're like, well, you're kind of a newer company. I'm just going to go do my own thing now. And it's like, what really makes great companies is a foundation of things. And then if you get to a certain point too, is you're going to need a right-hand guy and a left-hand guy. Sometimes it is great. If you do not want to take the stress of owning a business, go be somebody's right-hand guy. You can get paid handsomely for it. Handsomely. Yeah. And so it's like, well, what does that take? So when you look at it, it's like, I am not going to, it's a seasonal business, unreliable help, seasonal workers, right? Yeah. That is the challenge. And they are not A+ players. They're not even B+ players. They're like C- players, right? But their hands and their bodies to move these things, they're just workers, right? And what you need is like, also is once you grow your company, to get that other person under there to help you grow your company. And that is doing like the executive staff things. But if you take a look at it after taxes and everything else in your business, how much do you really need to make to hire yourself as well as a full-time staff member that you can start developing? Because that's a huge trust thing to do with an employee, because your whole business is on this, these pillars that are kind of a little fragile. If you walk away, what is the plan here? And it's like, it starts falling. So to grow a large seasonal company is very, very challenging. And that's what you said. It's don't undermine how it's like this. My business was not built overnight. And like I said, it can't be taken down in one night, right? It's just impossible. If I had to start over, I could definitely speed up, and I'd be one of those people you just see and you're like, how'd that dude get to $500,000 in 1 year? And it's like, because I understand the steps that are needed to get there. And it's that knowledge and that learning there. But that is what makes you the owner, right? That's what makes you the boss, is because you can take those things. One thing when I was in Costa Rica is the guy was away from his family. He was like 6 hours away and working at this coffee farm and everything. And he said it was a beautiful challenge. That's the way he described it. It was a beautiful challenge. So if you want to take on this challenge, it can be a beautiful challenge, but it is a challenge, right? To do these things. And when people do accomplish these things, it is a huge thing that I know when I was poor, I grew up poor, like really poor, that to the fact that I had tendencies of things that I would do. I still learn from it. Still, I'm 36 now, and I still am learning that I do this one thing, and it's actually ingrained in me since I was a child, right? And so I look at different things, like I would get mad when that person left me. How could you do this to me? And all that. And I would say it like that, is like, I thought I could trust you. And that's not what it is. It's also, you have a journey and a path, and this person doesn't want to be part of it, right? And you have to start to learn, like, well, where do I need to go? Oh, let me reach out to some roofers. And then you got your roofers. And then now you're like, I would never hire those guys again. Like, get out of here, dude. right? And you see all these red flags when people talk to you. And so it's psychology too. You start to really understand people. That's what Chelsea's really good at. That's what she did for retail and everything. She developed companies, regional areas and everything, but she understood the people. She was a leader. And so she understands how to talk to people. Me, I'm a little rough around the edges, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like, get it done. I'm like the athlete, right? Like, go out there and stop crying and let's make it happen, right? It's like, what's your excuse, right? But she's kind of, what you have for lunch and what are you doing this weekend and what's this? And it's like, people want to talk about that stuff, and so everybody's having fun over there. And then I walk in the warehouse and I'm kind of like this Grinch coming around, like, why isn't this done? Why isn't this over here? And she's like, oh, Joey's rolling through everybody.
I think that's a good point. And I think I've been blessed with that because coming from a sports background, I got into coaching. I don't really touch on that. I was in coaching. I'm still in coaching for 13 years. We run a soccer club as well, my father and I now. And the amount of transferables from coaching to where I'm at today is insane. And in hindsight, I would never have thought it when I was coaching. Like all these skills you're picking up, like recruitment and all these you're really in sales. When you're trying to recruit a good player, you're in sales. You're selling your club. You're selling your philosophy, your style. And it's like, you don't realize, like, there's always a path and there's always a reason. I always believe there's a reason why you went through this adversity or these moments in your life. And God has a plan for us all. 100%, I think we all have a great team. I wish my wife, I'm trying. Chelsea, my wife, she's got a great job. She's in IT, but she's getting to the point now. We've got 2 kids and she's having to travel. She was all remote, fully remote, but not since COVID. But now they want them in twice a week, and it's a long drive. And so she's at me now about how much longer until I can just stop working. And I said, I've got a number in my head, and Jason's kind of spoke to me about how much I'd need to bring in to justify her stopping her job. And I'm hoping we can get there this year, and I can have Chelsea on Team Holiday Accents doing what your Chelsea's doing for your business. That would be cool.
Because well, when you look at it, and that's actually what I want to talk about too, is that's a great point, is if you look at it the way, and I didn't have this plan to get here, right? But what happened is I started as a firefighter and I wanted to be like a battalion chief. I didn't want to be chief. I just wanted to be like a battalion. Okay. And that's what I wanted to do. And that would be a good spot for me. And I'd probably just stay there. But I didn't really, and within 13 years, I was really good. I feel like at being a firefighter, that a lot of times I'm on truck and rescue companies. And when you're really good, it's like your best salesman. You don't really want to promote your best salesman. Is like, if I can be a third man on a truck that's supposed to have 2 guys on the back seats and I can do their jobs, that's very hard to do. Not saying I even did it that well as one, but what it is like, you are a weapon there. And a lot of times if you are an officer, you want that weapon, right? You do not want them to leave you and all this other stuff. So with it was the same thing about how much I can do to get Chelsea to quit her job, because running a family is very hard. And especially the standard structure of American families doesn't help at all. No. So we started looking at everything. And I even asked my son, he was going to public school at the time. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I says, okay, well, your other brother has to be in these special programs and stuff. We take you to the bus stop, and then you ride the bus, and then you go do lunch, and then you do recess and all this stuff. How much time are you sitting down actually learning in a day? Yeah. And we did all the math on it. And then it came out to where one whole day he was wasting his time. He was just getting to and from, right? Yeah. Sitting in the line to get going somewhere, right? So I was like, you really only do 4 days of school. And then in that 4 days, how good is the quality of teaching?
Yep.
And then he'd start describing. After COVID happened, the schools still put in place the iPad stuff. And so half their day they're on their iPads. And I said, what program? He told me the program. And I'm like, that's a $30 homeschool program. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like, you're being homeschooled, but we're dropping you off at like a daycare center or something. So we said, okay, stop doing this. We're going to homeschool you guys. Yep. And then we started homeschooling, but then it comes to find out, like, me and Chelsea, I believe, are very smart. I'm smarter at some things than Chelsea is, but it's about patience too. And teaching kids, sometimes it can push you, and I just want to be like, come on, you can get this, So we went to a hybrid schedule of private school and all this stuff. And the whole thing, the reason why I say this is because what that allows is when you have this domino effect of, okay, now my wife is going to work within the business if she wants to, because some wives don't. The guest we have coming on next week, he has his wife working in the business. I think it's not everybody can do it, but I think it's so powerful if you can work with your spouse. You get to share moments and achievements that like you just never would ever get. And then, but you have to set boundaries and certain things, there's a way me and Chelsea do it that we've nestled into and everything. But when you look at it is, okay, she removes her from her job. Now her time opens up. Okay. But now we're going to homeschool the kids. Okay, great. Your time opened up, but now you're going to be a little more dedicated to the kids. And it's like, or we can put them in these activities that like drums and band and all this stuff and theater and their little programs we have to take them to, but we get to pick their schedule now. So now you don't have to do PTO. They don't have to be somewhere if we don't want them to be somewhere, right? And then you're able to be mobile. You're able to like kind of do different things in your life now. Because before, when we were firefighter, paramedic, and Chelsea was working the retail, is we had to request time off. We always worked opposites, right, to save on childcare and everything. Is you get into this whole plan, and it does work, but it doesn't. It's not.
You never spend time.
It's not quality time. It's like the time you do get. It's always like, okay, we gotta do chores and dishes, and so you're not really living, and then you're just living for like the weekend or something like that. And it's like, I don't want to just live for the weekend. You just
hit the nail on the head, and it's what it's all about. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole too much, but I believe in like roles, like we should all like traditional roles, like. And I'm not saying that women can work for sure, but I believe, and my wife believes that moms are the most powerful things on the planet. With like, and they should be there to nurture the kids, and they should be able to cook, and they should be able to. Like the stuff they enjoy, my wife enjoys doing, and that's taken away from her by what you just said. Like she's always working and stressed. And if I can bring in that whatever she's making, right, and I can bring it into my business and I can provide, I'll gladly do it. And do that. We've got a lot that aligns. Like I want my kids. I would love for them to be homeschooled or maybe do like a Montessori hybrid or something like that.
Yeah, because right now we have them in a program where it's pretty expensive, but it's one-on-one. So one teacher, and they have like a PhD and stuff, and they're teaching. My kids are 12 and 13 years old, but they are doing things that like your kids are not doing right now. And it's like they're keeping up with the times. They're like, they have 3D printers that you can use in everything. And they're like, okay, we're going to make Garfield 3D printing because my son loves Garfield, right? And so they make Garfield with like cheese coming out of his face, and they design it in the CAD software. Where do you get that? Right? Like, it's not going to be there. And they have a whole studio. It's amazing, right? And so it's like, but it took a long time, a lot of sacrifice. It's very hard. Remember what we said. This is very hard to get to this point. And then once you have that, now you're kind of more in control of your life. And now again, look, I'm tired still. I'm still worn out. But now we have more time with each other. We get to spend with each other. We get to see each other more. Not saying we're going to spend more quality time, but if we now have the opportunity to spend quality time, right?
And I'd love to hit on something while we're on this. And I think this is something that ties into being a business owner. And people always talk about goal setting and things. And, as much as it's all financial end of the day, like that's not what I think about really. Like my goals, I have my goals written down, and it's the first thing I look at every morning. And it's in my note on my phone. And one of the biggest goals, number one on my list, is to get Chelsea to stop working. And it's like, yes, that is a goal, but there's a lot of things that goes into achieving that goal. And I believe highly, like, I don't know, the secret law of attraction and all that. I believe in all that. Like, that's what I'm all about. And like, so if I'm obsessing over this and thinking about this,
manifesting,
it will become reality.
You're manifesting it, and then you're seeing your goal. You see it every day, but then you're reverse engineering it, right? So you reverse it back, and it's like, okay, what would it look like right before you quit your job? And it's like, well, is like landing $100,000 deal gonna make you quit your job? It could, but the thing is that now we have to onboard you, and we got to get you in the process and the workflow of things. And then how does your schedule change? And it's like, well, let's make your schedule of what we want it to look like. And then when you quit your job, we can eat, like you're seeing problems coming ahead. So it's not like get a job, you quit your job, right? That's not how it's going to work. It's preparing for this exit of your job. And then when it happens, you're just waiting for this last little drop in the bucket to spill it over, to be like, okay, we did all the work. Come over here. And she solved part of that. And you're like, we're here now because we earned to be here now. Right. And that's another big thing, is those right there are bigger than any like job win is when you're able to take all these clients that you've collected and everything, you diversified your portfolio, you made your business a little bulletproof to where year to year, if you lose 20% or something, we gain 40% every year. Like all we're doing is scaling our company and titrating it and diluting it down to getting rid of the bottom feeders, right? And you're growing your company bigger. And so when you're able to be an architect like that with your spouse, man, I love power couples that can do that, because now you sit at a dinner table and you're like, there's so much. What's your experience? Is like, this is amazing. Everybody's doing amazing things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me move it along just a little bit, because we could talk about that topic for hours and hours. But who do you follow? So you follow Jason religiously. He's kind of like a mentor of yours and everything. But is there anybody that stands out to you that you just love following and seeing online?
Dude, just like this might sound like I just idolize Jason, but Jason, like from not just like the component of Christmas lights, but I've told you, like I've talked to him almost every day, just from a sheer friendship standpoint as well. Like the thing I like about him is a lot of people and this is the same in football, what I grew up in, right? My dad always told me, football is a simple game complicated by idiots. And I think Christmas lights,
good advice, man.
Simple. And I think Christmas lights is a simple game complicated by idiots. And I think that he just strips things down to its most simplest form. Like there's nothing complex about what he's telling you. And at times I'll be in my head, I like to complicate things. I'll be like, oh, Jason, can I do that? Like, what about this and what? And he's like, chill out, man. You've got it. Just do this. And that's what I need in my life. I need the reassurance that everyone's all right. And I think it works well. And he knows where I'm at and how I tick. And that's why, I don't know.
Well, I think he's become an expert on calling people's BS out, right?
Yeah.
Like psychology, as you can see people. I know when we did our training and everything else and I think through time, when you become a good salesman, you end up navigating like somebody's emotional response and all this other type of like psychology. You really get to learn people through people, right? Yeah. And so with it is like somebody stood up and they were like doing their little skit or whatever, and then he stopped it like 15 seconds in, and he's like, stop. And you know, it is scary to get up there and do this stuff, but he stops right there because he's like, right there. Do you see what you just did right there? And they're kind of like, no. And he's like, I thought your goal was to sell the magic. Yeah. You went straight to pricing within 15 seconds. That's not selling the magic. Pricing is part of it, but that's later. That's like, you're trying to do like what you did in your video about you get up the driveway and it's just illuminating and the twinkling of the bulbs and everything. And it's like, you don't have to get super technical to them and say, hey, the faceted C9 bulb, none of that. Okay. No. They don't care. They just want it to sparkle and shine. Okay. How that works, nobody cares. And so it's that simple. But can you go really technical into Christmas lighting, like how the designing and how we do it and like all the different types of SKUs and ornaments and textures? And yes, you can. But where's the main bread and butter and money be made with Christmas lighting? The simple stuff, the C9s and the mini lights and the wreaths, man. That's where it is. And every time you try to get real creative, and it makes great content. Yeah. But a lot of times is also that was a maintenance nightmare or this or that, you know. And so what Jason a lot will do is a lot of times, remember I said about those childhood things that you have, is a lot of times is we are human, and in your brain, you'll tell yourself that like, well, can I close $100,000 deal? I know year 2, our highest ticket was $1,400. Yeah. $1,400, right? I just submitted a bid for $140,000, right? Like, and at that time I don't know, like there could be a $10,000 ticket. Why would somebody give me 10? Again, because you're in your brain, you've never seen anybody being handed that amount of money. Yeah. You know, last year, our customers and our brand, everything is trusted enough to where when people would like call us on the phone, never met them before, and the next day drop 15 grand to us in our bank account. And I'm like, that right there is how you build a company. It's trusted, right? It's all these things, all this work that you kind of put into it. But at the same time is kind of not holding it up to say, well, I can't go do those things. Now, don't go try to go do things. I just talked to somebody down in Houston. Somebody's trying to do a $200,000 project, and they haven't even done like a $2,000 project. And they're like, not all opportunities will be good opportunities. You have to kind of step with it. You're not do these bigger jobs unless if you look at the job and it's like, well, okay, it has C9s and mini lights. I've done that. But it has like one thing off to the side. Like I've never done a tower tree. I need to learn that, but I can bid it. I think I know how to do it. There's instructional videos.
Yeah.
That's good, right? You're getting deeper into the space of Christmas. But if you're like these 3-dimensional anchoring and this tower tree and then this specialty thing and then RGB programming over here and this property had like 50, you need to not tackle that thing. You need to like tackle some projects that you can do those other things. I want everybody to shoot for the moon, but what I also don't want is you to have that feeling when you have to troubleshoot like a like Twinkly Pro or something like that, and you want to sell this RGB tree and there's no support for it, and everybody's looking at you like, can you fix? You do not want that feeling, dude. And then your branding of your company kind of goes down because people are like, that dude don't know what he's doing, and it's like you don't ever want that to happen. And so that's why I say these things is like this stuff is difficult, but make yourself resilient, and then get into territories that are new every year. Like last year, I wanted a 3-dimensional bow, not like a fabric bow, like a 8-foot bow that we're going to custom manufacture and make. And I'm going to design out, and I'm going to put the different colors and the tinsel and all that around it. It weighs over 800 pounds, this one bow. And I got 2 of them.
Really?
Oh yeah. Very heavy. It comes up in 3 different pieces and everything. And we custom designed it, fabricated it here in the US and everything, and put it on a monument. That was a goal of mine, right?
Yeah.
Because I never custom fabricated design, made something off of my vision.
Yeah.
And so that's one I want to do. And we the property, they did it. And then this year they raised their price 50% and said, we want more, and it's like, that's that design stuff that just really motivates me into doing these things. But I wouldn't tackle that year 1. There's no way. Even year 3, I'd probably be like, anybody done this before? And it's like, it's only very unique people in this industry have,
It's like why I reached out to you, right? Like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been, regarding the commercial one that I was talking to you about, the interior, and we hadn't done that. And I think 2 years ago, I wouldn't even entertained it. But like, you learn as you grow. So I feel like I'm in a position now to start to entertain these sorts of things. And
I think you are too.
Yeah, organically, right? And now I'm at a point where we can have discussions, and that's why I was asking you. It's a whole different model, and I'm getting away from this model here, and it's like there's a transition, and so that's why. And I think you hit on something really important there. Like, you have to be willing to learn. And I do feel like there is a little bit of an ego problem in the industry. I think that, it's
a very big problem.
Yeah. And I'm only saying this because I do see some of the stuff that goes on in the groups, and there's certain individuals who I see new people coming in, and I was one of those people. And you see these guys, like, they're just bashing them. And it's like, why is that? Is that because you don't want new guys in the industry? Do you see them as a threat? And I just think at the end of the day, if everyone's willing to learn and just opens themselves up and is honest and talks about things just genuinely, I think we can all get better,
Yeah. Well, the thing is they have tendencies, right, ingrained in them. And when I see those things, somebody can be very egocentric towards me. I think ego is the enemy. Like, there's even that book and everything, right? We know egos don't really help anything, especially in discussions. Like, I am the biggest, I am the baddest, I am the threat, I am the alpha male in my industry. Yeah. The thing is I'm an ant over here in the DFW. I'm an ant. I'm a tiny little ant. Everybody's like, I have a great thing that helps my family, right? And a thing that I have goals and I'm building, and I like building, and I like being creative. But am I a threat? Maybe I may come in a meeting that's a mandatory meeting, and then they're like, oh, look, Murphy's here. Great. This is going to be a little tougher to get, you know what I mean? And that's great, because that's what we, but I'm not looking at this in any sort of way. Is this a good project for my business? I may get into it, and I've turned down projects and been like, you know what? I looked into this, and it's not something that I don't want to wrap 150 trees 30 feet high. I don't want to do that. No. So I'm going to just exit out of this one. Right. And I get to pick and choose which projects we want to do. And so all I know is that we need to gain a certain part of the market. I like the higher end of the market with custom design, because I know Photoshop and I feel like we're creative. So I like that space. But like, people that are like, what are you charging per foot in DFW? Do you think that I calculate any type of thing on my project of per foot? Because I'm not just doing per foot. I'm doing like 50 other things. But in general, this is kind of what I would bid. But what would you charge to fabricate an 8-foot bow and hang it 25 feet up in the air? What would you do? It's like, we're not talking about the same thing. And so I don't view anybody as a threat, because I built a big enough building to withstand hurricanes and stuff. I just need people to understand, like, you need to Like when I've only been out of the country twice, Jamaica, and we just went to Costa Rica. But when we went to Jamaica, they said Irie. And then in Costa Rica, they say Pura Vida, right? And so it's pure life.
Right.
It's all has the same meaning of pure life, right? And peacefulness and stuff. So in America, they're like, how you doing? They're like, I'm all right, right? It's like, and it's like, what? You're eating your McDonald's. It's like, oh my gosh, dude. And it's like, but you go to these other places and it's like, how you doing? Even in Spanish and stuff, you can say I'm okay, or I'm good, or I'm living a pure life, right? And it's like, how are you doing? And a lot of people, I say these things because when you push out online, I don't really engage with egocentric people or negative people because that doesn't do anything for our life. And me and you aren't going to have a great conversation. What I do like is people joking around a little bit, right? But this is a blue collar job. So if you've ever worked in like the oil field industry or anything, like these are very rough people and they crack each other and they say really rough stuff. But the thing is you also have to transition out of that and become a leader. Okay. And you have to be a nice, kind person. And if it's this aura around you, right? It's like when you walk in a room, somebody's like, wow, that dude is peaceful. Or if you're agitated and stressed out, you're like, man, that guy is stressed the heck out, right? I always want to push out as much as possibly I can as I get older, that I'm putting out this aura, whether it's online or the podcast or in my business, reaching out to clients is, wow, you're living a peaceful life. This looks like a great life that you built for yourself. When I see people being very egocentric in this type of business, because there's a lot of them, I don't think you're really developing yourself, your company, because you have to develop yourself with your company and everything else, and moving and leveling up to the next version of yourself. You should really be like encouraging people. That's why I said when your mic went out, I said, go on there and give this guy some encouragement. He's got one comment. And this is a masterpiece of design of starting your business out and launching it for this year. You guys could replicate this in your own business right now. But you got one comment and you got 15 likes. That's a damn shame. It really is.
My problem is as well, so on Instagram, I have my business page, and on Facebook, I have my business page. But the numbers are so low on those pages because I've never done like ads to try and push them or nothing to push them. And so I started just posting my stuff on my personal page, on my personal Facebook, but I'm not a big social media guy. So now I'm in a bit of a spot where a lot of the installers and stuff are adding me on my personal page because that's where I post my content. And I should really be posting it on my holiday because I've got a lot of personal stuff on my personal page, you know? So it's like, where do you, and I guess a good question for you, where do you separate your brand? Like, because at the end of the day, in a way, I'm part of the brand. What can I separate myself? Like, I don't know.
So, no, this is a great question. Somebody called me about this yesterday too. And I listened to a podcast the other day that actually helped encourage this or whatever. But basically is you are an influencer for your business, right? You are a content creator. There's a difference. So you're content creating for your business. And that content creation, if you can get a following, you're now an influencer. Okay. Right. So if you look at it let's say there's a soccer arena. Okay. You're playing soccer and you have 4 different types of people there. Let me see if I can remember this. You have an actor that's there. You have a YouTuber that's there. You have a podcaster there. And then you have a streamer that's there. Okay. And they're going to do it in these orders. What you will see is that the actor, oh, look at Brad Pitt's here. Everybody's like this. Oh, Brad Pitt's here, you guys. Brad Pitt's here. And then, or it would probably be Ryan Reynolds, right? Because he's actually in soccer and so, right? But Ryan Reynolds is here. Deadpool's here, everybody. Okay, cool. And then you go into, so it was the actor, and then you go into YouTubers. So YouTubers, Jake Paul's here. Okay, everybody, Mr. Logan Paul, whatever, they're here. Mr. Beast is here. Everybody, oh my gosh, Mr. Beast. Okay, cool. What happens then, you get to the podcasters, and it's like, why is it getting louder as we go up? You get to the podcaster, Theo Vaughn is here. Everybody's just roaring, right? And then all of a sudden, it's the streamer, somebody who streams like the FIFA World Cup game at all times. They're playing games. Because the whole thing is the engagement of time you're online with these people, right? And so they feel like they know you personally. There's this, I can look it up, somebody look it up, but it's a thing where if you watch somebody long enough, you think you know them, right? So it's like, hey, I know you. And so what you need to do for your personal self and your business, and this is how I've structured my brain for it, is you're a content creator. Do you have a following? Jason, big following. He's an influencer. Me and you, we're content creators still. Okay. Until we get a following, we're just content creating and we're trying to become an influencer. Right. When you become an influencer, you can get sponsorship deals and stuff like that, right? Because you have a following. Then you'll see the guy who does stuff for free get sponsored by Body Armor. And then he's like, every time I go out for the day, it's body. And I would love to get sponsored by Carhartt body armor, Chick-fil-A, who knows, right? And it's like, but I'm not there. I don't know if that's the plan for us and everything. We'll see. But the thing is, I won't do the streaming. I can't show that much of myself. I'm an architect. I build a business, right? But I can be a podcaster. I could be a YouTuber. I can be somewhere in there and be known. But the biggest thing is, I got to be honest, dude, you kind of said it, and I thought that way too. Do you know Joey Murphy from my Facebook, my personal Facebook page? Do you know me as a person? The answer is no. Right. So that social media is a facade to say, I'm going to always be posting everything about my life and my philosophy. Like, it's not like you're sitting down with me at dinner and we're having these type of discussions, right? And so it's like, you're not really letting people into your life. That is friends, right? Yeah. That's the people you're around and everything else. I like to call business people friends sometimes just because I'm getting really deep in with them, and it's like, we're more than just business partners here, right? Yeah. Like, what do we label it? We're business friends, right? Yeah. But personal friends, if I break my leg, are you going to go visit me in the hospital? And it's like, well, I would if it's not Christmas light time, right? It's like, okay, and that makes sense, but it's to do where, you're small business, because you are a small business. I'm still a small business, right? Is that you get to show the person behind the business. Yeah. Like, you showed me your proposal process and I saw it, right? Does it have an about us there? It sure does. Do you know why? Because they get a glimpse into you for what's your story, right? Yeah. As a company, who's the men behind the company, right? Like, Elon Musk is behind Tesla, but everybody knows whatever he kind of touches it may grow, right? And so it's the person behind the brand. So you have your social media that's personal. I think it's great that you post a lot on there because you're trying to get people to follow you as a person, your journey as a person. Your business is like your website. It's just, hey, this is our projects. This is what we've done. If you want to book our services. Now you go to this website and then there's about us. Am I going to put my personal Facebook page there? No, I'm going to tag my business page. In there, you may get to see like, oh, here is his personal profile. Click on that. You're like, oh, wow, look, he's got a whole family. He lives in this area. And look at all the great things they're doing with their life because of this business.
Yeah. Right? Well, talking to family. Hello, pal. How are you?
Hi, Daddy. Hello? Hey, buddy. What's your name?
What's your name?
Keegan.
Keegan? Oh.
Yeah, this is my 3-year-old.
That's a beautiful age, man. That's such a good age.
He just ran in the door there. First thing he does to Daddy, eh?
I know. I heard, hi, Daddy. He comes running.
Santa.
Hey. Yeah.
Do you already know what you want for Christmas?
What do you want for Christmas?
I love a new vacuum.
He loves vacuums. He's fascinated with vacuums right now. So,
That's amazing. Get him a Dyson, dude. Get this guy a Dyson.
Dude, we've got like 20 of them. They're everywhere. That's what all the money I make for Christmas is going to vacuums. So.
Oh my gosh, vacuums. What do you want? What's his name? Keegan? Is that right? And then what's the other one?
This is Archie. He's our 1-year-old. And Archie, Daddy, he can't talk yet.
I'm wearing blue pants.
You're wearing blue pants. Good for you, son. Eh?
It's such a good age, dude. Such a good age.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's why you do it, right?
Yeah. This is why. This is hopefully one day. This is where I'll pass the business on to them in a good place, and they'll have Daddy's business, and that's what this is all about. So.
That's awesome. Well, this is a good spot to like wrap things up. I wanted to get one thing, which is what's one of your favorite quotes, and then just any last words and everything. So I don't know if you have a favorite quote. I know mine is, if any man knows a thing, he knows that he knows not a thing at all. That's like one of my favorite quotes and everything. Do you have anything like that?
I think something I've always, kind of followed is fortune favors the brave. I think this came from my sporting background, when I was brave on the ball, and now it's kind of went in the business, taking the brave decision to start the business. And I think this fortune follows people who are brave. And I think it's very simple, but that's something I follow and live my life by. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, any last words for any of our viewers and everything? I know we got a couple comments, a couple people in here, but this I'll be posting this. It'll be on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and everything else for people to watch it at 1.5 speed, just like I watch my podcast and everything. Yeah. So, but is there any last words you want to leave with anybody? Because I know we had a bunch of golden nuggets in here, but anything before we get off?
I think just to say thank you, Joey, for the opportunity to come on and talk with you. And I've actually learned things in this call, and that's something I'm always looking to do is learn. And you know, I've really enjoyed watching your journey, and I'll continue to do so. And to be honest, I'm striving to be at your level, right? And this is what this is all about.
Well, one step at a time. Chelsea needs to get home, right? She needs to be home more. Chelsea, your wife.
She's here right now. Do you want to say hello, Chelsea? Yeah, I want to say hello. Yeah.
Well, I was saying to get her to quit her job and stuff is like keep building and try to get to there, right? Don't try to be me. Try to be the best version of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's it. And that's it, man. Thank you so much for having me on. And I'm gonna go get
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and everybody go follow Daniel and go. I want to see that one post he has. Go blow it up, okay? Go blow it up because it needs to be blown up, okay? So everybody, thanks for coming on, Daniel, and I know we'll be talking more and more.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
All right, adios, man.